awful thankful to be here this morning. I could have stayed home, I could have stayed in bed, I could have done a lot of other things, but I wouldn't feel as good when I got home as I do when I leave here. See, we talk a lot about we don't get paid, you know, a lot of churches, they pay their pastor, preachers, whatever you want to call it. In the old regular Baptist, we're known to not take a dime. Some people around here think that's weird. When I talk to certain people at work, I'll tell them I'm a preacher, and they'll be like, well, what are you doing here? You don't have a big enough congregation. You know, and at first I was thinking about that, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. Where I come from, it's not a custom for a preacher to take money for what they do. But I'll tell you what, I would be lying if I stood here before you today and told you that I didn't get paid for what I do.
Yep. Absolutely.
And just like Brother Chris was talking about, when Jesus,
by the one that hired you. His
army is not of this world. See, my payment, my riches are not of this world. You've got a lot of people in this world here that what they strive for is riches and big houses, nice cars, and things like that. And that's all going to fade. The houses are
just keep it in its place.
They're going to get older. The floors are going to creak a little bit and make all kinds of noises. The cars are no longer going to run. But the riches that I've got waiting for me,
that's right.
They're ageless, they're timeless, they're forever. And you know, that's what I'm striving for this morning. You see, I went out yesterday, me and Rachel, and we went out and we got to eat, and we spent quite a bit. You know, and it feels good for people to spend money and to have money and to be comfortable.
Yep.
But you know, the riches that I've got waiting on me, when I sit in the church house and I get a blessing, when a brother gets blessed and it touches my heart, I get to see my riches just for a little bit of time. I get to see what it's going to feel like. I get to hold those payments just for a little bit. And when a Sunday comes around or a Saturday, whatever day that we're here, and you see something like last weekend when Brother Jeremy sat there and whispered in your ear he'd like to join the church. Those payments right there.
That's right.
It's much bigger payment than lining this building with gold from wall to wall.
Understand
when I think about, I wasn't expecting Pam and Brett to be here this morning. But when I think about Sister Pam here, I don't think about anything but remember seeing her sitting in that other building there in Pilot Mountain, sitting in the back of the church, crying her eyes out. Seeing her get dipped down in the water. That's the way I remember her today. This world, it's so confused and so broken. When I see this prayer list here this morning, the first names on here, Robbie and Brittany Dameron, they just had a little baby. You see, this world, they say that us Christians, we're bigots, and we're all these sorts of things. Let me tell you, my two best friends in this world are not even Christians. They don't live a Christian life and don't even begin to proclaim that they do. You see, I've got friends in this world who are atheists. I've got friends in this world who don't know anything about my Lord. But I don't turn my back on them there because, listen, no matter how you think Christians are supposed to be, we're not perfect in this world, not one little bit. And I was reading here in Luke, it says, how they say we think we're perfect, we think we walk on water. No, you've got that wrong. We serve a man, we serve a God that walked on the water.
That's right.
That's not us. us. But you know, I read
Come on.
here and I think about how we are here in the church, even the preachers, no matter who walks through the doors, Jesus saying, "For I say unto you, among those that are born of women, listen, there's not a greater prophet than John the Baptist, but he is the least in the kingdom, but the least that are in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he." You know that,
You think about that.
John, he was probably one of the most influential people in this book here, and there's not a person sitting in here that is even close to what John the Baptist was, and even he was as great as he was. He wasn't even near as great as the least in the kingdom of heaven. Listen, you think about that for 1 second. You've got people in this world that say, "I don't believe in your God," or the people that say, "Well, they might be a God, but I'm not going to be a slave to a man. I'm not going to be a slave to a God that lets this world be the way that it is." Oh, you've got it wrong again. And this world, I get a little bit of offended when a Christian talks about God. Well, this morning, if that's your attitude coming through those doors, I'm going to tell you by the time that I sit down, you're going to be so offended that you won't be able to stand it. Because you see, I'm not a slave to God this morning. I'm a servant to God this morning. And the people who don't know my Lord, they're the slaves this morning, but they're not a slave to God. They're a slave to their sin. You see, I'm not exactly problem free. I have a lot of things that bother me in this world, but yet I'm still happy when I leave here on a Sunday. I'm still happy as I go out throughout my week here. But you know, there was a time when I was brokenhearted, and I met a girl, listen, and I married a woman here who was already a child of God, and I wasn't. And how many people are there in this world that their spouse is a child of God, and you know, they're not. And when I would think about when my soul was being condemned, and I started thinking about what would happen after this world, you know, if my wife were to leave me right now, I don't know what I would do, because I'm so accustomed to having her there, and I've found a love for her like no other. But you know, there's going to be a day when she's going to leave this world, or I'm going to leave this world, and if we were on two different sides, listen, I would never see her again. If this world were to end right now, and this man right here was not a child of God, my children who are the most innocent in my little family, they're going to be with my Lord, and my wife's a child of God, and she would be with my Lord, and where would Daddy be? How many people think about that this morning? Where would you be if my Lord came back today? Where would you be if my Lord stepped his foot upon this earth and took his children home? You see, I look at this prayer list here. I've been married for 7 years. A few days or 2 weeks after me and my wife got married, she didn't have bleeding on her brain. You know, I've got my two best friends in the world. Robbie here, it was his third child, and he was born with a hole in its little diaphragm there, and its organs were not in the place it should have been. My friend Chris, my other best friend, he had a child with Down syndrome, and you know, I look at my children and I think, Lord God, why are my children okay? I grew up with these same people. I grew up with people the same age as me who are cancer stricken, and you know, I've got my own problems, but do you ever think about those things, how blessed you really are? And if you can't get down on your knees and pour your heart out to God this morning and be thankful for something, then you're not paying attention. Are you offended yet? Well, don't worry, there's more. Listen, my Lord, He has blessed me beyond anything that I could have ever done for Him. I'm blessed every day that I wake up. I'm blessed every night when I lay my head down. Just like that song, brother. But you know, Robbie reached out to me the other day and he said, "I don't know what to do." And he said, "You know, this might be a little weird, but I want you to pray I know that's what you do, and I want you to pray because I don't know what to do. Things are not looking good for my baby here. And I had the messaging back there. We were texting back and forth, and I said, please tell me what's so weird about and what's so out of the way and out of the ordinary. Listening for you to ask me to pray for somebody. He said, well, it was just a little out of the blue. I said, no, it's not. It don't matter what time of day it is. If my phone were to ring, if I were to get a message, listen, it's a blessing in my heart to know that somebody who doesn't fully understand this thing here, went all the way to the world is upon their shoulders, that they're willing to turn to a God that they know nothing about. You see, brother, and I believe this morning that no matter what you believe in, when that time comes, you're going to turn to my God. I've seen it time and time again, and you know, I told him, I said, I'm going to continue to pray. I've already been praying for that child. We've had his wife on the prayer list before we even had that baby come into this world. When we had found out what was going on with it there, I told him, I said, that baby, even though the situation's changed, he's going to stay on our prayer list. And you know, there's been multiple times I told him, I said, you have been on my prayer list. We almost lost him years ago in a coal mining accident. And he came, and it crushed his face. And you know, he had to have metal and all kinds of things put in his face just to keep it in place. But you know, that still wasn't good enough. He still went back to the life he was living. And you know, I told him, I said, you know, now that you've got this here, you're willing to put it in God's hands. You've got your baby there, and you're praying. And I said, when you pray, don't let them be empty words. I said, you've got a child there. And I said, and when you get down on your knees, if you get up and don't have tears running down your face, you're not doing it right. You don't even have to speak a word. Listen, my Lord knows your heart. He knows what you want to say better than you can put in words. I said, but you know, you think about when you was laying down in Lexington there, and your face being reconstructed, and then not knowing if you're going to make it. I said, you know, just the same way that you're praying for that baby and you're asking for prayers. I said, people reached out to me the same way, and you know, we prayed for you. I've seen what the power of prayer does, and I said, you know, my prayer, I said, I've been praying for you, Robbie, as long as I can remember now. I've been in the church for so long, I said, but my prayers for you have changed over the years. At one time, I was praying that maybe your life would be spared after you had that accident, and that you would come out of it. I said, but now every time that I pray for you, I pray that my Lord would just touch your heart. And I said, I know this probably sounds a little harsh, but I hope He condemns your soul. I hope that He beats you down so bad that you have nowhere else to turn and you can put it over in His hands. I said, I have faith, Robbie, that this baby will come out of this thing here. But you know, I hope that when that's all said and done, that you can be that godly influence to a little baby, that you could be a godly influence to that little baby's brother and sister, and that you could be a godly influence to your wife, because that's what it's all about.
That's right.
That is what it's all about.
Bring light out of darkness.
You know, I've been at funerals on two different sides of the aisle. I've been at funerals of families who do not proclaim God. You look at our family here. You look at our family here, and we all belong in church here, and we all take our kids to church. We go with our spouses. But then I've been to places where they've had somebody laying in a casket, and the people there was no hope, there was no happiness. They were all just broken-hearted, and that's understandable. It's understandable to be broken-hearted when someone leaves this world. But let me tell you, I've been to funerals where I've seen children of God. People who have proclaimed to be children of God, just the way I remember being at my grandmother's funeral. My grandfather and all her brothers and sisters, all members of the old regular Baptist. And they all, instead of saying, "Oh, she's gone," you see, I had my mother and my aunt there who were not children of God, and they don't proclaim to be. And they definitely don't put that light up on a candlestick. But I don't know their situation, but they're over in the corner, broke down, crying, falling down all over the place, making a big scene. But then you look at the family of mine on the other side of the aisle that were children of God, saying, "Oh, Dicey, when I leave this world, I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to go where you're going. I'm going to be one in that number. You save a little place for me." My grandfather, through that whole ordeal, that's the only time I'd seen the man cry. But when they talked about, and I was sitting watching, when they stood at that funeral and they talked about his wife there, talked about heaven's land, he just had to clap his hands a little bit and smile, because she's gone off to a place that my Lord had left to prepare for his children. Brother Elijah stood up here last weekend and he started talking about the shootings in Oregon. And it's just like the Columbine shootings almost. You had a gunman that went through asking people if they were children of God, if they believed in God. I even read one instance there where we went to somebody and said, "Do you believe in Jesus Christ?" And the person said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, you're about to meet him." And he shot him right there. People with that kind of mind, they probably think, we got those Christians now. Where was their God?
That's right.
Where was their God when all that was going on? Well, let me tell you, that gunman asked that person if he believed in Jesus. And for all I know, they probably did. Why else would you say yes? If you were not a true child of God, I don't believe you would have proclaimed to been at that moment there with that gun pointed at you. And that gunman there, if he could talk to the person he shot there and say, "Well, where was your God?" Listen, that person could tell him now, when you took my life, he took it right on up to heaven's land. And if you want to know where my God is today, I'm sitting at his feet. And I don't even know the pain of that shot. I don't even know anger anymore. I don't feel jealousy. There's no sickness up here. If anything, that person now would be thanking that gunman because even though he took his life there, he sent him on to a better place. I truly believe that.
He didn't hit the ground. He moved on.
A lot of people can blame God, and I'll tell this, and then we'll bring it to a close here. I think a lot about my family here, and I think a lot about how it used to be, how I used to be. I remember meeting these people for the first time thinking, these are the craziest people I've ever met. How bad the world is that they can sit in a church on Sunday and praise the God that they believe controls everything, that made this world. And I was really confused. I didn't understand. And I have friends in this world who I talk to quite often. And they'll say, some of them will say things like, "Well, I believe there could be a God, but not the God that you guys are talking about, because the God that you guys are talking about, you make him sound so wonderful. But yet there's children starving. But yet my mother left this world due to cancer."
Yeah. I hear that.
I hear this so often. And some people look at the Christians and look at families like mine and they'll say, "Well, they've never had heartache and they've never had trouble." if they think that's true, a Christian person, I don't think there's a group of people in this world that's had it a little bit harder than the Christian people. It's just you can't tell it when you look at us because we've got a comforter. We've got a God that serves our needs. When we're so undeserving. When I think of Robbie here and his situation, I say, God, if this baby were to leave this world, Lord, please don't let him be weak. Because I've seen so many people lose loved ones and lose children and turn their back completely on God. But you know, I think about, and we see this all the time. You know, I've lost a child. Me and Rachel lost a child. But let me tell you, there's been good things come from it. And that child will be waiting on me when this is all said and done. I truly believe that. But you know, one thing, you know, I don't really know how to put this in the words as good as just thinking about it. My heart feels it better than any word I can say. But sitting right here, little Olivia, when I think about, you know, we were on our way there. Me and Rachel had already moved out here to North Carolina. And you know, we were on our way there and we didn't have phones with us. We had pulled into the parking lot there and Chris and Carol came up to me and Rachel there and said that they had lost Brandy and the baby for a little bit of time. And you know, that wasn't expected. I didn't expect that at all because there at that time, our family, every time we turned around, we had another little girl running around somewhere, another little heartbreaker, just tearing us all down, but none that tore us down like that day. And people will say, well, how can you love a God that let that little girl go through the things she did? But you know, I've sat in church houses, and you go ahead and get you a song. I've sat in church houses where my brother's here and my father-in-law have preached her little story, and I've looked out on a congregation of people coming in who are brokenhearted, people with problems, and you see, they'll start talking about little Olivia, and little Olivia will come running up here, and the people sitting out there couldn't even believe that would be her running up through here when this world had not given her a chance. My Lord had something better, and you know, she's a little girl, she's not a preacher today, but the little testimony that she's going to grow up with is going to sound throughout the ages. It's going to sound throughout our little family for as long as we live and for generations to come, to know how my Lord has blessed this little Newsome family. The church doors are open this morning. If you came in this morning, I hope that it wasn't with an excuse. I hope that you left that outside, because there's no excuse this morning to turn your back when God's standing waiting at the door. I've done it for so long, but let me tell you, there was a day when I couldn't do it anymore. And you see, people will say, how do you know your Lord's blessed you? There's been too many things happen in my life since. Listen, where's your proof? They'll say, I'm my proof, and my heart is my proof.